Hi everyone! Today I'm painting another unofficial animal artist collective piece, and the theme is oceans and coasts. I'll talk about the collective a bit later, but let's start with the painting process. I sketched this one on graph paper and I was using multiple reference photos for the different animals and elements. Here's a little tip for making a composition. You can print out a rule of thirds grid or a phi grid and draw your sketch onto that paper or transfer the grid onto your sketch paper. And the rule of thirds grid is easy to draw by hand too, because you're just dividing the paper into 3 sections vertically and horizontally. And to make an interesting composition, place your focus points into the intersections of these lines, or at least on the line. I transferred the sketch onto 250 GSM watercolor paper. I used blue transfer paper this time because I was planning on the painting to be mostly blue and I didn't want the sketch to show up much from underneath the painting. I drew some more detail with a watercolor pencil after the transfer. I painted this one using Cotman watercolors and I added some inking at the end. I list all my supplies below, as always. So, as I mentioned, I'm painting this as an unofficial entry for the Animal Artists Collective theme Oceans and Coasts. The Animal Artists Collective members each paint an animal based on a theme every 2 months, although the first 2 themes only had 1 month between them. They make a speed painting video of it and sell the original artwork and give at least 50% of the proceeds to animal conservation. I'll add a playlist below of the official artists so you can check them out. You can also take part in the themes unofficially, as I'm doing now. And I'm going to link another playlist below with all the ACC videos I can find, including both official and unofficial entries. To decide which animals to paint for this theme, I watched the Planet Earth Season 1 documentaries about ocean and shallow sea animals. Before watching them, I actually already had an idea, but it turned out that that species does not live by the coast, but by lakes, so that wasn't going to work. However, there's currently a poll on the Animal Artists Collective Facebook page where you can vote for the next theme between 2 options. And one of the options is wetlands, lakes and rivers. So if that one gets chosen, I already know what I'm painting. I got many ideas from the documentaries, but there wasn't really one animal that stood out, so I ended up sketching a bunch of animals in my sketchbook and including as many of them as I could in this one painting. It's a scene from the bottom of the sea. There's a sea turtle kind of swimming and reaching down to eat something growing from the sand, but I also included a sea woodlouse, which is the white insect with blue shading in the bottom right corner. It's like the small grey bugs you can find in dirt, but these ones are a lot bigger. I really liked the striped octopus called wonderpus, so I had to include that one. There's also a sea urchin and some fish, and in the bottom left corner you can see sponge sea animals. I stuck to a limited color palette of blues and yellows, oranges and browns with this painting, although it would be fun to make a really colorful coral reef painting. I just felt like there was so much going on already with all the animals and stripes and textures that I needed to keep the colors more simple. I probably should have used masking fluid for the yellow plants beside the turtle, since I tried painting yellow over the blue background and that never works well. And in retrospect, I could have added a bit of orange in the woodlouse and the legs of the turtle to tie them to the rest of the piece. I watched Jennifer Charlie Art's Oceans and Coasts painting. She's one of the official Animal Artists Collective members, and I liked how she talked about the meaning of the ocean for her. And I was going to talk about my sea experiences here, but I think I'll leave that for another video. I'd like to make a whole series of paintings from holidays and trips I've taken abroad, and that story, or a couple of funny stories, would fit better in those videos. Thank you so much for watching and subscribe for more art tips and speed paintings. I post a new video every Friday. Now let's end this video with some tape peeling. Have a great day. Bye!